It's going to be pretty crowded today at the lunch table because there are 16 students from the nearest village, Cagpin, who are visiting the station.
On this field trip, they've been learning about the fascinating animals and plants around them, just like I did on my first day. I guess it's time to talk about food. A running gag among us researchers at the station was to ask what's for lunch, since it was always rice, either with super spicy peri-peri paste or sometimes leftovers from last day's supper. And while we were less than excited about almost plain rice every day, this was one of the best meals of the year for most of the school kids, and they ate as much as they could. That is because the locals get most of their calories from yams, which is less easily digestible and on some level not as nutritious as even white rice. Adults may also see fruit as, for kids, like we see candy, which means they often suffer from lack of vitamins. And here we are, eating cake.
We haven't had any activity this afternoon and very little in the morning. And we think it's because of the dryness, because it hasn't rained in like 4 or 5 days or so. And it also doesn't really look like it today. At least we had time to set everything up and try things out until the real good activity comes. Hopefully soon. After the great success yesterday and loads of activity of the ants, today we're having again nothing. Well, time to listen to some podcast.
On this afternoon, a fierce battle with many casualties would be fought very close to my observational colony. It's a standoff between the macrotermes who have built this mound and a colony of Campanotus carpenter ants, who seem to be inhabiting the upper parts of it. The heavily armored termite soldiers are facing the quick and nimble ant mages, the largest of the workers, built for heavy duty. Neither of them have stingers, so duels are fought with mandibles only. A common strategy among ants and termites alike is to pin down the enemy by clamping onto legs and antennae, immobilizing the opponent and hoping for nestmates to deal incapacitating or even killing blows. The two sides seem even in warfare power, and there are heavy losses on both sides. What we see here on the outside is only the tip of the termite mound. Why these two societies started to clash in the first place remains a mystery to me, especially since the smaller workers of the Campanotus, which are less fit for fighting, are now evacuating their most precious assets, their pupae. This is the next generation of workers ready to eclose in only a few days. For now, it seems, the primary residents and builders of this fortress have the upper hand, and the ant colony has to find a new shelter elsewhere. After this epic battle, I also saw some green monkeys on the other side of the river across the station, foraging for fruit in the trees.
Don't worry, I haven't started smoking. I still think it is kind of disgusting, but it's a pretty good defense against the mosquitoes and the tsetse flies. And the shades are also a pretty good defense against those sweat bees, which are usually flying into your eyes and also ears. Dass sie hoch wird. I'm okay with finding that little fella in my room. Well, I just encountered the next problem, because now I wanted to switch from 1080p HD to 4K so that I can actually identify the ant in the images or in the videos, and also what she's doing with her antennae and legs and stuff. But the camera overheated now with, I don't know, 31, 32 degrees and sunshine. It's a little bit too much. Yeah, in the lab they also overheat when filming on 4K, but I got some fans in there. And here I don't know what to do besides carrying around the cool pack, because I kind of anticipated that, but it was in the middle of a pretty long and good run. So yeah, bummed of course, but yeah, we learn. Now I think in the evenings or afternoons I will stick to 1080p, and in the mornings I can try 4K, because it worked today in the morning with only about 28 degrees or so and no sun. They're nesting everywhere at the station.
Here a wasp has paralyzed this cockroach just moments ago, and it's now dragging the victim into a burrow where she will lay an egg onto the roach. When the wasp larva hatches, it feeds entirely on the body while it is still alive. Alas, my slippery walls are a bit too high for her, so she unfortunately has to let go of this baby food ration. It's the rainy season in the savannah, which means once every 2 or 3 days there is a downpour at night. The one this day was especially severe.
You still have something to cut? Damn it! Well, that saves me the shower. That is the sound of a light switch that is not working. Haha! Well, the walk from the lab to my house, which is a 2-minute walk or so, was really fun. Because there's like lighting flashes every like second or so, so intermittently you actually don't even need a flashlight, which is good because my phone would have gotten really wet.
Here we are witnessing a mating between two probably Phytole ants. The male was following the pheromone plume to the princess, who may be mating with just this one male or several others. The then queen stores the sperm she receives in an internal pouch, and she keeps it alive and viable throughout her whole life, which can last many years. This lets her fertilize the eggs as she is laying them, and if, in fact, she accepts multiple lovers, she can even select from which male she will take the sperm to fertilize which egg.
That was a pretty successful morning. It rained yesterday, so now the activity of the ant nest is great again. So I marked 12 ants today, and I filmed 2 ants, one repeatedly. And the first ant I could follow around for about an hour, which is as long as I have never been able to, at least for an unmarked ant, which she was. And then yeah, at around the hour mark, she disappeared under a leaf, as they often do, and I waited for 5 minutes for her to come out, and she didn't. So I turned around the leaf, expecting her to have lost her again, so that she just ran away out of the frame without me noticing, because she's like black on a dark background. But then I saw that there's a little tunnel going in, so I thought, okay, well, maybe she's just investigating this for a new nest site or something like that. And then I waited for another 2 minutes or so, and I saw that she was kind of, you know, coming a little bit out, but not really, which is a really unusual behavior. And then I saw that she was being moved by a spider that had predated on her. So that was the first real predation that I saw outside of the nest area. And yeah, the second ant that I was filming also got preyed on by a predatory bug. So yeah, it seems like it's a pretty dangerous life as an ant scout. Such is life. Now, lunch.
So far I haven't even told you the most fascinating thing about these ants, and the main reason that Eric and others study the species. That is a peculiar set of behaviors they perform when raiding, like they do now. Just like the termites we saw earlier, the target species of the Megaponera ants have strong soldiers who can cut off legs and antennae of their raiders. But these ants have evolved to take care of their injured nestmates. Specialized paramedic ants will pick up the injured ants and carry them to the nest, where their wounds are being licked with antibacterial excretions from a special gland. And this helps the patient survive and recover quicker than if they hadn't been treated. On top of that, if an ant has lost 3 or more limbs, it's a lost cause. And the injured ant knows that, frantically flailing about as not to unnecessarily take up the time and energy of any paramedics.
Boy, that was a really successful morning. I'm glad that Guillaume came with me to marvel at the ant raids and also to help me with the data collection, obviously. It was really efficient. Man, a lot of data, again, predation, so yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with the morning. So I think this project is going into a good direction, and I will get quite a bit of data on this one colony, and then I will have to see what to do with the replication on other colonies. Maybe I am still going to do that in like the last week that I'm here, or I'm going to have to come back next year with a lot more helpers so that I can get more data, just like today. But yeah, it's not looking too bad. Those are a lot of ants.